This is the mountain range that Denali is a part of. My understanding is that right there is Denali. It is right there. Behind those dark peaks, you can just barely see the white of the bottom of her, and the clouds are shrouding her top. They say you can only see her 30% of the time. Obviously, we haven't found that time yet. However, it's less smoky over there this morning than it was last night. We probably will not go up there today because there is a fire up north causing issues in the park as far as smoke goes. So this is like just a store. I just want to show you guys their flowers. This is gorgeous. Aren't they pretty? And they go all the way down around. Dana and I went to the museum here in Talkeetna and saw lots of interesting old historical artifacts, most of them having to do with mountain climbing and making your way around this frozen tundra in the winter. It had a lot of good information and some funny things like this here moose being turned into a horse. That didn't go so well. And here we have a clock that quit at the exact moment of the big earthquake. What a crazy thing. One thing that we read about was that in 1917, they started this thing where they put a frozen post out on the ice and they started selling lottery tickets. And the minute it falls in, if you guess that time, you're the winner of the lottery. Then after that, we headed to a local pub. We enjoyed some fish. I think it was salmon dip. It was super good. Dana really enjoyed it. We enjoyed lots of artwork and the old buildings. This town was inspiration for the movie Northern Exposure back in the 90s. So you'll be able to notice kind of some resemblance in some of these buildings. And can you get more Alaskan than all these antlers? It was really super cool, a very sweet little town, and one of the best places to see Denali when you do hit that 30%. Nagley's was an original store from back in the day, and this was the inside of it. I just couldn't get over how nostalgic it felt. And no, I didn't even live during that time. Then Dana caught me kissing some of the local wildlife before we made our way to the train. We were walking through town and look what we found sitting here. The Alaska train. Thought we'd come over and check it out. Alaska Railroad Company, established in 1914. This would be a fun thing to do. So these little moose are all over town. Different businesses have different mooses. And this town was originally the inspiration for Northern Exposure. Ooh, lots of historic buildings, super cute little shops, restaurants, breweries and pubs. So this was built in the 1920s. And Dana wanted to make sure that I showed you guys these dovetails. Dana found herself the perfect hat and took a moment to model it for us. Folks, we don't get this very often. And then we made our way back to the river where we could take another chance at seeing Denali. And this right here, this is the best shot and the best view that we saw of Denali the entire time we were here. And that included going in the park for several days. So we have been down here 3 times. in the last 2 days, and this is the best view we have gotten so far. You can see a little tiny bit of the mountain, that really bright white above the clouds. That's part of the mountain there. She is the third tallest peak in the world, and the tallest peak on this continent. It's her sisters over there. So we stayed the night last night in Talkeetna. It's this cute little town that was the inspiration for Northern Exposure, in the little town that was in that show of the 90s. There is a walking tour, self-guided walking tour that you can do. There is a museum that you can go into that has a couple of videos, one on the railroad and one on climbing Denali. There's lots of little shops, restaurants, a brewery. This is the home of the blueberry mojito in a can, which is just incredible. The rest of America, we are missing out. I think we should strike or something. I don't know, but we need this blueberry mojito in the lower 48. It's not fair. It's not fair. And so this is also, they have a place here that makes syrup and jams and things like that we're going to go check out here in a while. Here on the left is the Denali Brew Pub. We ate there. That is also, they serve the mojitos there. But that's not the main place where you get them. So anyways, that's a historic little inn there on the left. We went into a little store up here that was the old store, and it was super neat. You can see there's lots of antlers. They do ATV tours. You can get a tour on a helicopter to go see Denali. The river's right down there with a view of Denali on the 30% of the time when she's visible. Very, very swift moving river, but they do whitewater rafting tours here. There's a lot going on in this cute little town of about 3 blocks. You could walk the whole thing. It's really a sweet little place. But we're headed out now to go down here and check out the place with the mojitos. We'll check back in later. So we stopped at this pull-out, and that's the best view we've had so far. That's Denali. Can't see out the top of it. Good morning, good afternoon, good something. We are on day 42 of our adventures. It's rainy. And we are at this Alaska birch syrup, Birchworks. Talkeetna Birchworks birch syrup. And I think we're going to go in and see if they'll do a tour for us.